Rockville voters are going to have a unique opportunity in November due to a number of incumbents choosing not to run. There are 2 candidates for mayor, and there are 12 candidates for 6 open city council seats. Rockville expanded their city council from 4 to 6 just this past year. So in addition, there are 4 non-binding referendums on the ballot that the new council could take up. They include allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to be allowed to vote, whether or not non-citizens who live in Rockville be allowed to vote. Should there be term limits for the mayor and council members like we have now in Montgomery County? And should council represent council districts instead of being elected at large? So rather than going through all 18 of the candidates, let's just kind of focus on the 4 initiatives that are before the voter. What are your thoughts, first of all, on allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to vote? Either one of you. Mark, I'll let you start.
I think it's we were just talking about juvenile crime. We acknowledge that you're not an adult yet, and that's why we give you a certain level of latitude until you turn 18. I think the same basic principle applies to whether or not you can vote. You haven't reached that stage in your life where it's appropriate to do so.
Mike.
I think I'm not as concerned about it at a community level. I think it's interesting to try and encourage youth to get into the voting requirements sooner. I do have some concerns along with Mark. Many of the issues that you're addressing aren't issues that as a 16-year-old you're actually engaging with or encountering. And so I think great, you can vote and participate, but I don't know that makes as much sense as, say, having as a student member of the Board of Education or the student member on the Montgomery College Board of Trustees, where you are engaging in something that you're directly resulting in participating in. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm a little more sanguine, I guess, about 16, 17 years voting in community elections.
So the next issue is probably the more thorny issue, because we've seen this in other jurisdictions. Should non-citizens who live in Rockville be allowed to vote?
I think it's sort of insulting, if you will, to those people who have gone through the naturalization process, who've gone through the rather extensive legal hoops to become a citizen and qualified as a citizen. You're kind of basically now saying that all of that is not quite as important. Citizenship has its consequences, and I think we should recognize that by limiting voting just to them.
Mike?
I think at a community level, I'm actually okay with ensuring that folks within that community have the opportunity to weigh in and engage on what happens in that community. I agree with you, Mark. I think at a national and state level that citizenship does bring with it rights and responsibilities, and I think that that's something very important. We should encourage that. At a local community level, where things are at a very basic level, I think it's important. I think it's important to make sure that everybody who's engaged has the opportunity to speak on that.